It's not exactly smooth sailing with China in the contested waters of the Indo-Pacific. China's maritime neighbors are no longer willing to take it lying down. They're resorting to tit for tat or taking preemptive steps to call China's bluff, sometimes on their own or at times in tandem with a treaty ally such as the U.S. The message couldn't be clearer. The South China Sea isn't China's backyard. Ayushi Ahuja reports.
China's rise in the South China Sea hasn't exactly been smooth sailing. Think high-intensity lasers, water cannons, naval blockades. These are just a few of the tactics Beijing uses to assert its sweeping claims over the disputed waters of the South China Sea, claims that an international tribunal outrightly rejected in 2016. But here's the twist. It's not just the Philippines pushing back anymore. The US has entered the fray, and Beijing is far from thrilled. The US is ramping up its military presence, stationing advanced missile units in the Philippines and Japan. A new US task force, a union, has been deployed to bolster Philippine defenses near the Ayungin Shoal, a tiny reef with outsized strategic importance and a constant source of tension with China. For context, the Ayungin Shoal is just 200 kilometers off the Philippines coast, but over 1,100 kilometers from China's Hainan Island. In 2016, the International Tribunal confirmed it's part of the Philippines' exclusive economic zone. Yet China keeps playing spoiler, even interfering with repairs on the BRP Sierra Madre, a grounded naval ship turned outpost that's been stationed there since 1999. And then there's the firepower. The US recently deployed its Typhon missile system in the Philippines, capable of firing long-range Tomahawk and SM-6 missiles that can target key Chinese installations. Initially meant as a temporary measure, the system will now stay indefinitely, underscoring the deepening US-Philippines alliance. Meanwhile in Japan, the US Marine Corps is reinforcing its presence with the Marine Littoral Regiment armed with high-mobility artillery rocket systems. The goal? Prevent China from blocking critical access points and dominating the Taiwan Strait. And Taiwan? It's the elephant in the room. Beijing sees the island as a breakaway province. The US doesn't recognize Taiwan as independent, but it opposes any forceful takeover bolstering the island with arms sales and military support. Not surprisingly, Beijing is livid. China's foreign ministry has slammed these US moves, calling them destabilizing. But for the Philippines and Japan, this is about protecting sovereignty and standing up to what they see as China's provocations. China, of course, has done plenty to draw criticism. Its militarization of the South China Sea, complete with airstrips and artificial islands, has been widely condemned. And Beijing's recent test firing of intercontinental ballistic missiles hasn't exactly eased tensions. In response, the US and the Philippines have been stepping up their cooperation. In just the past year, the Philippines has signed a deal with the US on sharing of classified intelligence, secured $500 million in US military aid, and expanded US access to the Philippines' military bases. Joint naval drills have sent a clear message. They're ready to counter any potential threats from China. For Beijing, this is about more than just disputed waters. It's about strategic dominance. The South China Sea is central to its ambitions. But with US bases now flanking the region, in both Japan and the Philippines, the message couldn't be clearer. The South China Sea isn't China's backyard. The battle for control over these waters is far from over. But one thing is certain, China's neighbors, with a little help from Washington, D.C., are no longer willing to sit idly by. And with military bases in Japan and the Philippines, the US is making sure China gets the memo. Ayushi Ahuja's report for DD India.